Konnichiwa. We're going to take a look at this article about dogs using the Earth's magnetic field to navigate, and also about links to Monty Python and the Holy Grail in Game of Thrones. So the article says dogs are renowned for their world-class noses, but a new study suggests they may have an additional sensory trait, a magnetic compass. This sense appears to allow them to use Earth's magnetic field to calculate shortcuts in unfamiliar terrain. The finding is a first in dogs, says Catherine Lohman, a biologist at the University of North Carolina, Chapel Hill, who studies magnetoreception and navigation in turtles. There were already hints that dogs, like many animals, and maybe even humans, can perceive Earth's magnetic field. In the new study, Berta's graduate student, Katerina Benediktova, initially put a video camera and GPS trackers on 4 dogs and took them on trips into the forest. The dogs would scamper off to chase the scent of an animal for 400 meters on average. The GPS track showed 2 types of behavior during their return trips. In one, dubbed tracking, a dog would retrace to its original route, presumably following the same scent. In the other behavior, called scouting, the dog would return along a completely new route, bushwhacking, without any backtracking. When Benediktova showed the data to Berta, her PhD advisor, he noticed a curious feature. In the middle of a scouting run, the dog would stop and run for about 20 meters along a north-south axis before it began to navigate back. These short runs looked like an alignment along the magnetic field, but Benediktova didn't have enough data to be sure. So Benediktova and Berta scaled up the project, setting loose 27 dogs on several hundred trips over 3 years. The researchers took a close look at 223 scouting run cases, in which the dogs roamed an average of 1.1 kilometers on their return. In 170 of those trips, the dogs stopped before they turned back and ran for about 20 meters along a north-south axis. When the animals did this, they tended to get back via a more direct route. Adam Miklosi, who specializes in dog behavior at Eötvös-Loránd University, says, "It would not be surprising to find that dogs can use the magnetic field to navigate. It seems to be an ancient ability." Okay, so when I recently called into Marfoogle TV, we looked at an image like the Earth's torus field to get an idea of how the magnetic flow flows. So every compass points to the Holy Grail. Next, Game of Thrones has unique link to Monty Python. The article says Game of Thrones is ultimately a fantasy show that's full of knights in armor, dragons, and even fake languages. Game of Thrones made the fantasy genre cool again. One of the many ways that the showrunners, David Benioff and D.B. Weiss, were able to do that was by mixing and matching other genres to the show. As a result, surprisingly, one of the biggest influences on Game of Thrones was actually Monty Python and the Holy Grail. As Vanity Fair reported, Weiss said Python was a formative influence for him, and that he and Benioff were well aware of how similar the show could be to Monty Python, especially Monty Python and the Holy Grail. They've avoided steering the show in that direction, but that didn't stop them from putting a few references to Monty Python. For example, Mental Floss wrote that for the pilot of the show, the Game of Thrones cast and crew filmed in the same castle that Monty Python filmed Monty Python and the Holy Grail in. Both productions filmed in Doune Castle, which is located in Scotland. In Game of Thrones, Doune Castle was used to portray Winterfell, which is the home of many of the show's main characters. There were other references to Monty Python too. For example, Mental Floss wrote that in episode Breaker of Chains, one of the characters gets insulted in a foreign language. Those insults, when translated to English, are lines that were taken straight from Monty Python and the Holy Grail. Okay, so every compass points to the Holy Grail, where the Aurora Borealis projects up to the stars. To pass the Holy Grail, you need to upload your blood over intent to the Ethernet on YouTube, writing "I intend to bring forth heaven on earth." Recording yourself, pricking your finger, putting your blood on the paper, and uploading the video to YouTube with the title blood over intent, the tag blood over intent, and the description blood over intent. Okay, thanks for watching. Let me know if you have any questions. Have a cool day. Arigato, mata ne.